Congress of the International Skating Union (ISU) died down, but as expected was not marked by any progress in terms of lifting the ban from Russian figure skaters. It was said earlier that there are no plans to return Russia to the world stage in the 2024-2025 season. However, now this has become especially obvious. Russian athletes were suspending the third year of competition solely fighting among themselves, and high-profile titles and medals from the main competitions, unfortunately, will again go to other countries. However, there are so many skaters with Russian roots skating under foreign flags that Russian fans and figure skating enthusiasts will still be interested in watching competitions and experiencing ISU tournaments. There are many Russian skaters on the list of participants in the upcoming Grand Prix Championship Series. At each of the 6 stages we will see Russian faces. A total of 30 people. Some of them will definitely rise to the podium and even qualify for the Grand Prix final. Most of the Russian people will perform in the men's singles within the ISU Grand Prix series. As many as 12 guys will leave a Russian mark on foreign skating rinks. 3 of them are Americans from immigrant families. This is the current world champion Ilya Malinin, performing a phenomenal quadruple axel, and the promising Maxim Naumov and Andrew Torgashev, who took 4th and 5th place at the last US Championship, respectively. We will see Ilya at stages in the USA and Canada. Maxim will also take part in the home American round, and Andrew will go riding in France. It is no coincidence that Denis Vasilev from Latvia speaks Russian well, because he not only grew up in Daugavpils, where Russian-speaking citizens prevail, but was also born into a family of immigrants from the USSR. We will be rooting for him in a few months at the Grand Prix in the USA and China. The small homeland of the representative of Azerbaijan Vladimir Levintsev is actually Aktau. Now he is training with Victoria Bitseva at CSKA, and is preparing for competitions at stages in Canada and Japan. Russian fans habitually call Canadian Steven Gogolev Stepan, and do not forget that, although he was born in Toronto, he began to practice figure skating in Ekaterinburg, at the same skating rink as Maxim Kovtun. The Russian school definitely contributed to his subsequent success, especially on jumps, which in his junior period he cracked like nuts. And although Steven lost stability by the time he entered the seniors, he could still turn out to be a dark horse in upcoming competitions, including the Grand Prix in Japan. Russian fans worry with particular trepidation about Georgian Nikita, who has been training under the leadership of Eteri Tubberts for many years. This year he will go to the Grand Prix in the USA and China, where he will finally try to climb onto the podium, to which he was as close as possible in 2023, but at both stages he was content with an offensive 4th place. Israeli singles skater Mark Gorodnitsky has a complicated biography. Born in Canada, he received an offer to play for Israel at the age of 14, as his Belarusian father had previously lived there for 8 years. Having agreed to go under the flag of another country, Mark made the right decision, and has since won the title of Best Figure Skater in Israel 4 times in a row. The past season was not easy for him, but perhaps at the Grand Prix in Canada and Japan, he will show himself in all his glory. The tallest singles athlete on the planet, Nikolai Mimola from sunny Italy, has Russian roots, and will traditionally try to storm the Grand Prix podium, with a quadruple Lutz in his arsenal. You can worry about the Russian-Italian at the stages in France and China. There, Mikhail Shadurov, a student of Alexei Ermanov, will try to defend the honor of Kazakhstan. A native of Perm, Maker Suntsev will enter the arena of the home stage in Finland, and he will be accompanied by another ex-Russian Vladimir Samoilov, representing Poland. Maker, alas, does not master quadruple jumps, and Vladimir is not very stable, but during the off-season they are able to improve their weaknesses. Unlike men, there are not so many female singles athletes of Russian origin expected in the Grand Prix series, but the main thing is that they all have a chance of getting high places. Thus, the 2023 European champion Anastasia Gubanova, with clean performances, is capable of pushing all the foreigners on the podium, and replenishing the Georgian national team's collection of awards in the women's event. Strict judges objectively squeeze her points, but this is another reason for her to prove that she deserves to be in the top 3. So get ready to keep your fingers crossed for Nastia at the stages in France and China. The Perky Muscovite and now Polish figure skater Katarina Kurkova will delight you with her skating at the Grand Prix in Canada and Japan. The girl studied the triple axel and even tried it at the national championship, although unsuccessfully. Nevertheless, one can fully expect a sudden gain from Katya, which will help her loudly declare herself. At the ISU Grand Prix series in the new season, 3 couples of entirely Russian origin will perform, as well as 4 more, where one of the partners is a native of Russia. Huge prospects shine for the current European vice-champions, Georgians Anastasia Metelkina Luka Berlova, and Hungarians Maria Pavlova Alexei Svyatchenko, who took 4th place at the World Championships last season. Both couples personified the Russian school of figure skating. Nastya and Luka train with Pavel Slysarenko. Masha and Alexei are students of Dmitry Savin and Fedor Klimov. At this stage in the USA, the athletes will have to compete with each other, but then Metelkina Berlova will go to fight for medals in Japan, and Pavlova Svyatchenko will go to Finland. The American pair Lisa Efimova and Misha Mitrofanov will make their debut next season in the ISU Grand Prix series, and at international competitions in general. They won't have to travel far. They will perform at their home stage in the USA. I would like to believe that the guys' cooperation will last a long time, because before this each of them changed several partners, and Alice also changed flags at the same time. She started skating singles for Finland, where she was born, then teamed up with Alexander Korvin in Russia, then for a season and a half, she tried to achieve success with Ruben Blomard in Germany, and now she teamed up with Mitrofanov overseas. Misha competed throughout his career for the United States, where his parents moved in the dashing 90s, but did not achieve significant achievements with any of his 4 partners. Muscovite Anastasia Golubyeva, paired with Hector Yotopoulos Moore, takes Australian figure skating to a new level, and proves that the call of the beautiful ocean and endless beaches is not an obstacle to preparing for competitions. Last season they almost made it to the top 3 at their Grand Prix stages, and this time they will certainly do everything to correct this at the stages in Canada and Finland. Another Muscovite, Daria Danilova, will also take part in the Canadian Grand Prix, where she will represent the Netherlands in tandem with Michelle Sabo. St. Petersburg boys Pavel Kovalev and Nikita Volodin will not let you forget about Russia either. The first is the happy husband of his French partner Kamil Kovalev, with whom he has been going on the ice under a non-native tricolor for 10 years. Nikita with Minerva Fabienne Hayes spent so far his only, but very fruitful season, playing for Germany. They have won 2 stages and the Grand Prix final, 5th place at the European Championships and bronze at the World Championships. There is no doubt that this fall they will shine at the stages in France and China. The Kovalev couple will also perform there. Perhaps one of the most anticipated events in ice dancing on the international stage for Russian fans is the return of Diana Davis and Gleb Smolkin to the ISU Grand Prix series. The former Russian duo performed well after changing their sports citizenship to Georgian and earned 2 stages at once, in the USA and China. It will certainly be difficult for them to compete for medals there, but on the other hand, their recent move to the Montreal Academy could help them speed up their progress and gain precious points. It is interesting that at this stage in the USA, Diana and Gleb will face ex-classmates Elizabeth Tkachenko and Alexei Kilikov, with whom they trained in America for the last couple of years, with the latter's father and former partner Tubbirds. True, Tkachenko and Kilikov Jr. are not speaking for the States at all, but for Israel, which is far from them. In any case, no matter what flag they play Twizzles under, their Russian roots cannot be hidden. It will be very interesting to follow Muscovite Evgenia Lopareva in ice dancing, who represents France with Jeffrey Brissett. The athletes are registered for the Grand Prix in Canada and France, where they have a chance to enter the top 3. They once trained with Alexander Julin, but now they live, like Davis and Smolkin, at the Montreal Academy. For ex-Russian Artem Markelov and his American partner Leon Essa, the upcoming season is incredibly important because they are entering the seniors. In their last junior year, they won absolutely all their tournaments, including the Grand Prix final and the World Junior Championships. Perhaps such talented guys will bypass the notorious Q and will be allowed on the podium at their debut adult Grand Prix in the USA and France.